Gun shows and falling asleep at the wheel. Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's the In Between. It's the In Between for Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. And welcome. How's your week going? And welcome to April. March is over. That's it. We can't go back. It's over. But hey, we're going to the moon. That's right. So good. Godspeed to the Artemis II crew. Alrighty. So let's do a quick little recap what's been going on here. This past weekend went to a gun show with my son, and it was over 21 now, so that was it was pretty cool for him. And again, what do you go to gun shows for? That's right. So moving on, falling asleep at the wheel. Well, last week came home and noticed that this vehicle was just kind of stopped in the middle of the road right by the house, and he wasn't moving. Cars were going around him, and the cars were honking at him. He wasn't moving. I go, okay, well, maybe this guy's learning how to drive, because it just had that vibe feel. I don't know. And nope, he was asleep at the wheel. The funny thing is, and really the scary thing is he was pointed at a house, and he had his foot on the brake because he had the brake light was still on, but he had this tint on, and I didn't know he was asleep. I couldn't tell what was going on, and I didn't touch anything, but I did ask, really loud, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you need help? If anything, if you can't move, say something, moan, groan, bang on the window, bang on the door, get my attention. Nothing, nothing. So obviously you call the police. Well, and I guess at one point he did move because I was able to see inside the tinted car. He was slouched over. I didn't know it was a he. I thought it was something else. Slouched over, and I go, great, this guy's gone. Well, no. The police showed up. They blocked off the car in case he took his foot off the brake, and they got into it. Luckily, he had the vehicle unlocked, and they got into the vehicle, and he was just out like a light. I guess he partied a little too much, or he partied a little pregame before driving. And I don't know. I'm just speculating here, because again, why would you fall asleep? It was, bright sunny day. You're out there in the middle of the day. Luckily, there was not a lot of traffic in my neighborhood. Knock on wood. Hopefully it stays that way. But I just jinxed myself like I always do. But what I'm getting at is, they took him away. They took him away. And so again, he was doing work. He said he was door dashing, and he hadn't been asleep in 2 days. Well, there you go. That'll do it too. But apparently, you door dash in the evenings or overnight. That's where the money's at. So I understand that. You got to hustle, got to do what you got to do. But at some point, come on. There's a safety factor behind all that. So, hopefully, DoorDash is taking care of that situation with this guy. So anyway, that was the adventure. That was the good deed. So you know what they say about no good deed goes unpunished. So I'm waiting for that part to strike, because it always does. No good deed goes unpunished. So we'll see what it is and how it comes. But in this case, not there yet. So either way, folks, you never know what you're going to find around the corner, around the bend, or right outside your front door. So you got to be prepared. And that's really the gist of today's story, is being prepared, being ready to act, know what you're going to do, know what you're going to say, and know how you're going to react if things go sideways. So again, especially if it happens right outside your front door, I mean, what can you do? You have to react, you have to act, and you have to do something. So don't ignore it. Sometimes you cannot ignore it. So with that being said, be prepared. Always be head on a swivel. Keep looking around, and see what you go from there. Alrighty, let's see what else. Well, that was it. That was really it. So pretty much that's it for the week. Everything else has been kind of going until today, and the launch of the Artemis II, which is pretty cool, which is really cool. So that takes us also to April 1st, Wednesday, and it is the daily prompt. And today's daily prompt, again, is how do you think climate change will impact future generations? Interesting, great. I'm not one of those climate, it's, I'm not on either side of the pendulum. But I do believe that we do contribute to our own, but we're not making the mess. We're contributing to the mess. But again, the world is always evolving. The world is always turning. The world's been here for millions and millions of years. So if not billions, I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a geologist. Yeah, there we go. I'm not a geologist. I may play one on TV, but I'm not one in real life. So that being said, again, but there is proof that there have been cycles. and everything that goes on. I mean, the moon goes around the Earth 28 days, 28-day cycle. We go around the sun once a year, a yearly cycle. Right. So again, there's been ice ages. There's been numerous ice ages. So again, it is one of those things that the Earth is already on its own trajectory and its own course in its own cycle. We are just contributing to that. Can we totally change and reverse climate change? I don't believe so. Can we slow it down? More than likely. But for the most part, my journal entry for today would then be to the question: how do you think climate change will impact the future generations? It impacts it in that now, as we have more and more science, we'll be able to adjust accordingly and act accordingly. So that's my journal prompt for today. And again, this is the In Between. Again, a show about everything, a show about nothing. But hey, how are you doing? Alrighty, listen, I'm Dave, and I want to thank you again for stopping by, for watching, and have yourself a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next week.